Hi, good afternoon. This is Austin Thompson with Thompson Management Consulting, LLC. And I am going to discuss with you today a little bit about emotional intelligence, all right? And the art of checking your emotions, right? So I know everybody's tired about the Will Smith slapping Chris Rock saga, of what happened at the Academy Awards 2 weeks ago. But well, guess what? It's still in the media. We're still talking about it, and we're still speaking about what should have happened, what should not have happened, how Will should have handled the situation, right? And what Will should have done and should not have done. But I want to really dive into emotional intelligence and why we should check our emotions as business owners and entrepreneurs, business professionals, right? When we are confronted with situations, when we are confronted with emotions, how do we manage our own emotions? So this way we would react in a rational way and react in a way that's driven by clear thinking, right? So what happened at the Academy Awards? Right? Chris Rock came on stage. He made a joke. To some, it was a distasteful joke. Some thought it was funny. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. Whether he was aware that she had alopecia or not, who knows? But he made the joke, right? So at first, it seems that the joke was funny. Will Smith was laughing. Ha, 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 ha. Jada looked over at Will in a very displeasing way, really angry. And all of a sudden, the laughter stopped. And based on Jada's reaction, it was a non-verbal communication. And he recognized that look, I guess. And he realized at that moment, I have to jump into action, right? I have to jump into action and I have to do something, right, that is pleasing to my wife, right, in this moment of displeasure, right? So he walked up on stage in a commanding way. Chris Rock had his hands behind his back. He was not, and look, we have come to the conclusion that this may not have been staged, right? So he wasn't expecting to be slapped. So Will slapped Chris Rock. Chris Rock looked really like confused, like what happened? What just happened? I mean, why did you come up and hit me, right? And Will walked back to his stage like he had just done something great. He has just done something phenomenal. And his wife is going to pat him on the back, and she's going to gesture to him and just give him that thumbs up that was great. Thank you for defending me, right? But what happened after that? What happened after that? A lot of things happened, right? The one thing that happened was it seemingly Will lost a little credibility, right? The punishment was, or the punishment is, 10 years from the Academy Awards. He will not be invited to the Academy Awards ceremony or any Academy-related events for 10 years. We see now also certain movies being canceled or suspended, actors who are unwilling to work with Will, and who knows what other fallout will come from this, right? A lot of people rallied around Chris Rock because they knew that this was a moment that should not have happened. This is something that should not have happened, right? But this discussion, this conversation that I'm having with you all today is not about the Academy. This is not about Will slapping Chris. This is not about Will being suspended from the Academy for 10 years. No. This is about emotional intelligence. This is about our emotions. This is about us as business professionals, those of us who are always in the public eye, right? Who are always out there because we're visible, right? We're visible because of the work we do. So why would we make an irrational move and do something that can destroy our brand? Why would we do something that would destroy our credibility? Why would we do something that would cause individuals to lose confidence and faith in us? All right? So we have to do what? We always have to think before we act. Every action does not require a reaction, right? Every action does not require a reaction because your reaction can cause you, right? Say, for instance, you're a business owner. You own a bricks and mortar business. Whether you are a tax accountant, whether you own a retail business, whether you are you repair computers and you do technology work and you set up computers, you set up IT systems, and you have a storefront that people can walk into. You have a grocery outlet, whatever it is, right? You're interfacing with business owners every day. You're interfacing with customers. You're interfacing with people who are doing business with you, and which means if they're doing business with you, they're spending money with you, right? So let's say, for instance, one day somebody comes in, right? They come in, they're angry, they're upset, right? And you greet them. You greet them in a very pleasant way. Good afternoon, sir. How are you? Right? And then the person responds, I don't want your good afternoon. What's so good about it? It is not a good afternoon. It is not a good day. I purchased this item from you and it doesn't work. How is it that I'm spending money with you and then when I go home to try this product, it doesn't work? You are selling items that are displeasing, and you're selling items that we're paying money for and they don't work, and blah, 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 blah. And that customer goes on and on and on and on and on. And he wants his money back. He doesn't want any apologies. He doesn't want you to exchange that product for another product because the product that you're exchanging that other product with, that might not work too. And he is just throwing everything at you, everything but the kitchen sink, right? So what just happened? What just happened? You have a disgruntled customer, right? Before that customer walked in, you were in a good mood. You seeing a customer come through the door. You're ready to welcome that customer with open arms, and that customer just came in and just let it all out on you, right? That energy that was stored in that individual is now transferred to you, right? What are you going to do? How are you going to respond, right? Are you going to engage in an exchange of words with that customer? Are you going to become disgruntled and angry because this person just came in and just started yelling at you and you just didn't appreciate that person yelling at you? I mean, what are you going to do, right? How are you going to de-escalate that tension? How are you going to diffuse that tension and change the temperament of that individual, right? We have to stop and think about that, all right? All right, here's scenario number 2, okay? You're on the phone with your supplier, right? The supply chain is still slow. Your deliveries have not come in yet. They're 2 days behind. Your inventory has been depleted, not altogether, but you have some items that are sold, that are popular, that are not in, right? And you want to make sure that your items come in soon because you have clients and customers who are asking for these items, right? So let's carry out the same scenario in a different different model, right? So you're on the phone with your suppliers and you're upset and you're getting at them. You're angry because you're losing sales. You're losing sales, which means you're losing revenue, right? Because you don't have those items in. Customer comes in, he sees you on the phone. I want to have a word with you. I want to have a word with you because this product I bought from you is not working. And you're saying, sir, please hold a minute. I'm on the phone. I'll be with you in a second. But he continues. He says, I don't care if you're on the phone. I am your customer. I'm spending money with you. And right now, I am not pleased with what you sold me. And blah, 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 blah. And he goes on, right? And you're like, sir, please just give me a minute. And then he continues again. If you don't come off the phone, I will never spend money with you. I will never ever buy anything from you. And everybody I know, I will tell them that they should not shop with you. And at that moment, you come off the phone and you hung up the phone and you disconnected the communication with your supplier. And you take off on your client because now you're angry because your suppliers are not coming in. The customer is angry because He bought something from you that didn't work properly or didn't work at all, and then all of a sudden now you enter into an argument with your client, right? You enter into an argument with your client. And then now the client is, how dare you, yes, how dare you yell at me? How dare you raise your voice at me? Don't you know who I am? I am your client. I am your customer. I spend money with you, you know? And then you're like, well, I don't care. You know, you are rude. You came in here, you're yelling at me. You see me on the phone. And then all of a sudden, what's happening? What's happening? You're having now an argument with your customer, your client, okay? You already had some trouble, some issue, right? You're already stressed that your supplies are not coming in early, right? They're not coming in early. They're not coming in on time, okay? So that you can have these items in your inventory for customers because they've already paid for it, and you put it on the system to be ready for them so they can come and pick it up, so on and so forth, right? But this customer just came in and threw everything at you, and then now you're engaged and embroiled in an argument back and forth, right? Sometimes, you know, we have situations in our lives that causes us to react irrationally, right? It causes us to react inappropriately, right? Sometimes we may think that a reaction is justified, right? Like Will receiving that look from Jada, and he felt he was justified to jump into action and to jump on stage and smack Chris Rock, right? Whether he was right or wrong, you know, some are for it, some are against it, right? You have to think of the consequences, okay? The consequences and the repercussion. Now, what has resulted with Will? He's suspended or banned from the Academy Awards or any Academy-related events for 10 years, okay? He's going to probably see some revenue loss. And who knows, he may have some pending lawsuits coming from Chris Rock, right? Who hasn't made up his mind yet whether he's going to sue or not sue, okay? That's between them, okay? What are the consequences from responding to your client in an angry way, right? You may feel you were justified. Okay, scenario one, you were in a pleasant mood, you were welcoming your customer, right? You were not engaged in any communication or activity before your customer came in, but your customer was angry, right? In the second scenario, you were engaged in a stressful communication with your supplier. When are your suppliers going to come in? When are you going to have those items replenished in your inventory so that you can now have sales and generate revenue, right? It's important for small business operators, right? It's important for us as micro enterprises that we continue to have items and our inventory stocked so that when customers come in, we have items to sell, right? It's important for us, right? It's important for us because how else are we going to have cash flow if we don't generate the revenue, okay? But when you do something, right, that your customer or your client or the other person didn't expect, there are consequences. There is going to be a repercussion, right? Now the consequence is this customer now is probably no longer a customer of yours. So you're going to lose a customer, right? Because you did not handle that situation in the right way. Two, that customer now will go and inform other prospective customers, other prospects, right, that don't shop with this business because he was rude, he was obnoxious, he yelled at me, and on top of that, the product didn't even work, all right? So, you know, we have to really think about the way in which we are communicating, the way in which we react to certain things, right? Again, not every action deserves a reaction, okay? There might be an instantaneous reaction where you react right away, like the gentleman who was on the phone, and like Will Smith, you know, who got the look from Jada and he jumped right into action. And sometimes there are delayed reactions where you have a moment to think about what you're going to say and what you're going to do, which at that point would probably enable you to deliver a more favorable response, right? You may want to take some time to think about it. Like, let's go back to scenario number 2. The gentleman walks in to the business. He's upset. He's angry. His product doesn't work. The store owner is on the phone and he's angry, he's upset. He could have told the person on the phone, "May I please call you back? I have a customer I need to attend to." And then he could have hung up the phone and he could have said, "Sir, I am sorry. I don't know what you're angry about, but give me an opportunity to correct it. How may I help you?" Right? That would have been the more favorable way rather than, just jumping into a verbal altercation, a verbal engagement with your customer, right? The one thing that we have to be cognizant of, we have to be cognizant and aware of our emotions. Okay, there are certain things that may trigger us as because we're human. We're human, right? We're human, and then there are times when we're confronted with things that we may think, "I need to respond right away," but no, you have to check that because you do not have to respond right away, right? If you have a healthy EQ, right? A healthy EQ, which is representative of emotional intelligence. If you have a healthy EQ, that means you think before you act. You know how to check your emotions. You know how to manage your emotions. You know how to react to certain things, right? And to certain situations, right? When you present, mosquitoes. when you're presented with certain situations, right? Because one bad move, right? One bad reaction can be totally negative for you. Can be totally bad for you, right? But if you reacted in a pleasing way, in an appropriate way, then you have an opportunity to save that moment, right? Checking our emotions is very important for us as business owners. Because we can't afford to lose customers. We can't afford to, not just lose that customer, but lose other customers you didn't know about. Because again, word of mouth is always the best type of marketing, right? Word of mouth. If the person likes what you do, they are pleased with your service, they're pleased with your customer service, they will tell someone and tell 5 other people to come and do business with you, right? And conversely, if they don't, if they're not pleased with you, then they'll tell people to go elsewhere, right? I've had moments in my life. I've had many moments in my life where I had to make decisions, where I had to, check my emotions and check what I was thinking at the moment. Had to really check that and speak something totally different than what I was thinking, right? I spent many years in engineering. I spent many years working with clients, engaged with customers, face to face, personally, on the phone. I spent several years as a business development manager in sales. So I was always interfacing with customers who were, pleased with services. They were pleased with what they were doing. And then there were those who were not pleased. There were those who had cases and they wanted to discuss certain things they were not pleased with. And at times they were very angry, and you had to find ways to de-escalate tension. So this way you can have an amicable conversation, right? Once you can have a meaningful conversation with someone and you're able to de-escalate a situation, so this way you can continue and have a good, healthy conversation, a lot of good things can come out of that, So, in conclusion, we could say Will should have acted this way, Will should have acted that way, Chris Rock's joke should have gone this way or it could have gone that way. The one thing I'm sure we can all agree with is that we can use this as a learning experience, right? We can use this as a moment in our history from which we can learn, right? And we can add this to our personal learning exercises because many of us are going to be confronted with situations where we might want to react right away, right? But snap judgment, sometimes you have to think, right? You have to think before you say, think before you react, right? Because you're going to be confronted with negative energy, right? That negative energy is going to be transferred to you. How you deal with that energy and those emotions, how you check that, how you check your own emotions, and how good you are at checking the emotions of others who are engaging you will determine how healthy your relationship and how well that situation may turn out. All right. So as business owners, entrepreneurs, micro enterprises, mom and pop businesses out there. For those of you who are engaging your customers and clients face to face, you're out networking with someone. Someone may say something about you. They may say something about your favorite team. You may meet someone who's at a rival university, and they may say something negative about you. Just try to ignore the comment. Just try to deal with the situations and manage those unexpected situations as best as you can. Because the one thing you don't want to do is to suffer any negative consequences from making bad judgments, making bad decisions, and doing something that you will regret. All right? So thank you so much for tuning in. This is Austin Thompson with Thompson Management Consulting. And today, hey, we're talking about emotional intelligence and checking our emotions, reacting to situations in a more favorable way. All right. So please like the video, share it with your network, leave a wonderful comment, and please subscribe to our channel. All right. We thank you so much for tuning in. Everyone, have a wonderful day. Thank you.